Hi guys, my name is Vin and today I'll review Locks and Keys. And then he's watching AFMAL. So I'm on chapter 3. Chapter 3. Yeah, let's read. The Great Unspoken, chapter 3. The note's upside down, backwards, so if I show you it, it'll be backwards. But let's read. Chapter 3, The Great Unspoken. The following morning, Jane was called into Father's study. Lane, can you turn up the volume a little?
Why?
I'm making a video. The following morning, James was called into Father's study after finishing off a 3-egg omelet, 5 stripes of bacon, and 4 pieces of toast. He washed it all down with a bowl of almond clusters, drowning in whole milk, where all went. I wasn't sure, but it had always been this way. I'd eaten breakfast 2 hours earlier at 8 a.m. The coffee machine's glass decanter already half empty by the time I arrived into the sunlit room. The Boston morning gave no hint at the trouble of night before. It was a bird song. Sunshine scattered. Cumulus cloud kind of morning. As Mary Popkins kind of morning. The kind to make me wish we were at the Cape House with its two-boat, private beach, and giant lawn that spilled green into the gray-blue of Nantucket Sound. The summons into the study could not be good news. That much was clear from the shock that registered on James' face when Lois advised him of the unscheduled appointment with Father. Such meeting usually made him being sent to the school's guidelines counselor seem like a party. Made more puzzling by its timing, followed the break-in as it did. The directive suggested there was blame to be assigned. No doubt, James' wiring of the open window had been discovered. James entered his trepidation obvious on his pale skin and grim expression. Father, he said, since the man did nothing to acknowledge his presence. Oswin Bennett Moretti pointed to the leather chair with the brass tack trimming while remaining focused. There's a fly. Came on top of my head. Huh, that was scary. There's flies in our house. Alright. Kind of spooked me a little. That fly went on top of my head. So where was I? When Lois advised him of the unscheduled appointment with Father. Such meeting usually made more puzzling by its time, following the break-in as it did. The directive suggested there was blame to be assigned. No doubt. Wait, I read that already. Oh, where was I? Oh yeah. Where I was on. Pointed to the leather chair with the brass tack trimming while remaining focused on his reading. Continue through to the end of the document, consuming several minutes, which to James stretched for an eternity. He removed a pair of half-glass glasses used only for reading, a simple enough gesture that put James on edge. If the visit was to be short, Father would have simply removed the glasses down his nose slightly and peered out over them. Oh, bless you. Oh. He signaled a seriousness that James wasn't prepared for. Trying desperate not to show it, James remained rattled from the home invasion of the night before. The house rule was not don't speak to Father unless spoken to. He had things on his mind. His work filled his head. His children could be nuisance. James broke the rule. Not the best way to start. What did the police say? Asked James improperly. Father offered no response, not so much as a facial tick. Another several minutes lapsed. He kneaded the paperwork to the side of his green letter blotter. There will be no police, nor any police report. James bit back his disapproval. I am well aware of the disappearance of the events that took place, but appearance can be deceiving, son. It is important to remember this. It's a bit of a clinic, but some of our most important lessons are clay. Believe me, what I am going to present to you may sound off, James. I expect it may. I ask you to bear with me. Father did not ask his children for their tolerance or forgiveness, causing James to wonder if the invaders had secretly replaced the man and installed a doppelganger, an identical twin from a parallel universe. Of course, Father. The night at hand is Baskerville Academy. Last night, that was all about Baskerville Academy. I don't understand. You have completed your 8th grade year. You've known for some time where you'll be going to school this fall. James had a challenge at the ready. Instead, he said what was expected of him. I suppose since that decision is not mine to make, Father tilted his head as if still wearing his reading glasses. James, please. The time has come. So why rub it in? You're not going to allow me to go anywhere but sinking Baskerville Academy? James shuddered. I'm sorry, Father. That was disrespectful. I apologize. Father's face went as scarlet as Valentine roses, as you should. Yes, I'm aware of the family tradition. You've explained it since forever ago. I'm aware of our family's history with the school. I just wish we weren't stuck back 100 years ago. Just because... go away, Fly. Just because your grandfather and father went there doesn't mean, and I as well, And you as well doesn't mean it's right for me. And a lot has changed in the past 150 years. That makes some stone castle in the middle of nowhere, just as little less appealing. Things like cars and internet and like 100 more schools to choose from that exist back then. James hesitated. Grover Cleveland School, for instance. That's a public school, father said indignantly. Commonwealth School, then. It's the best private school in the city, and it's practically around the corner. Why do I have to live someplace else? Why do you want to get rid of me? What about Moria, Maria, Maria. Why can't I stay with her, or with Maria? Who's going to take care of her? James had gone too far, and he knew it. Like trusting the ice on the pond until you heard it crackling beneath you. Oops, he wanted to say, wishing for a delete button. It was like sharing a Snapchat you wanted back. That kind of oops. You think me so incapable of looking after her? I didn't mean that the way it came out. Of course you did. And I just might add all the more reason for me to disregard your disrespectful suggestions, as it shows a certain lack of maturity on your part that could and will be corrected by attending Baskerville. The decision is final, son. If there's one thing Baskerville gives you, it's a chance to both grow up more quickly and to prepare yourself for the years to come. I don't want to wear a tie every day of my life, not anywhere near reason enough. I love my family. Yes, and your family loves you back. Some do, James said. Well, under his breath. What's that, young man? Let me explain somewhere here, in case you're missing the audience. Why do you think that was last night? Kidnappers, robbers, nonsense. You were as freaked out as Mo and me. You may not want to admit it, but hazing, Austin Monterey said. That was a group of fellows from Baskerville. You know this? I expect it. That's reassuring, a group of fellas. That's not exactly how you put it last night. I heard you cuss about twice in my life, father. Last night made up for the missing years. I was unsettled. You were not yourself. They tied me up, father. Who knows what might have happened if Mo hadn't come along. You know how I feel about nicknames. Show some respect, please. It was a prank, a school prank, and that is all. And you want me to go live with those Ludens? Seriously? That's your vision of higher education. Watch yourself, James. Tread lightly. Every male minority for generations, I know, has attended Baskerville Academy, going back to our ancestors in England. A diggy Scottish castle it was back then. I'm told. Be happy we are here, where we are. You'll be 2 hours away on gorgeous campus. But I want to stay here with you, and Maria. As to her, I couldn't agree more. Has been taken care of. Baskerville, co-educational now, and has expanded to include 8th grade and what they call a middle. I could have sent you off last year. What page will be in page 37 will be on chapter 4. Okay, I'll stop on page 37. Alright. Watch yourself, Jay. Where was I? As to her, I couldn't agree more. It has been taken care of. Baskerville co-educational now and has expanded to include 8th grade. Ling, stop! I'll turn up your volume. Ling, turn off your volume. Include 8th grade. What they call a middle. I could have sent you off last year, but did not. I've been busy. I've arranged it so that she can attend as well. How convenient. I warned you once, young man. They tried to kidnap me. What kind of hazing is that? That's a federal offense kind, if you ask me. It was a test, it's all. A test of your metal. I don't know how you say it, really. Metal. I can't really say it, okay? So you getting rid of us has nothing to do with the way you've been all summer? What on earth? You seem afraid, Father. Maria and I had seen the way you check all the locks twice. Button up at bedtime. You turn on more lights than you used to. You draw all the curtains. We're not stupid. It was true. Our father's typical composure defined the expression even keeled, a sailing reference. I think it meant it was basically always the same. In his case, stern, quiet, dark. If I've been being honest, brooding in a fatherly kind of way, severe and short. He was anything but fearful, overconfident, condescending, aggressive. To see him over the past few months hesitate to answer a phone call or to pull the drapes the moment the sun sank low in the sky, to vary a schedule that at one time I could have sent my watch by. Lane, turn off the volume a little. Lane, turn off your volume a little. She's watching. Ling is out watching Aphmau right now. That's her favorite. She likes watching Minecraft. Minecraft Aphmau. All right, that's why you can probably hear her. And I'm reading. Where was I? Just the moment the sun sank low in the sky, to vary a schedule that at one time I could have set my watch by. These are the things that make a child take notice of her parents, or his parent, in James' case. Nonsense, our father used nonsense, like others slammed the doors. I won't go, James said. Of course you will. It's a matter of obligation. It's a matter of obligation, James. You and Maria will be attending beginning next month. I'll flunk out on purpose. Then I'll send you to military academy until you're ready to transfer back to Baskerville. It'll only take a semester or two. We'll see how you like running 4 miles before sunrise and crawling through swamps. That'll make a man of you. He got James in with that one. Shut him up like Tupperware. The thing about father, he always knew what you were going to say, always. He had answer or counter offers. Degree, decrees, and disciplines, like an archer's arrow, waiting on its back. My brother and I knew that he was a businessman on top of his teaching on at the university. We'd overheard his late night discussion. Seeing the guests, nearly always men, often the same men who arrived at all hours to the back of the house. He had to be good at it. Even a family fortune needed proper management. His practice at negotiation had come down the line. He was the only son of the only son. The family properties alone were worth millions of dollars, if not tens of millions. Tens of millions. We weren't supposed to know that, which translated we weren't supposed to open our eyes. There's a fly around our house. Oh, it's gone away. Okay, let's read. We weren't supposed to know. Where was I? There's a connection between you and me, James. We are male hairs. Think of it as I am the king, you are the prince. You'll attend and you will graduate from Baskerville Academy. There's a fly. Okay, I'm gonna have to attack it. I'll stay there. No, one way. There's lots of flies around my house. I'm really annoyed with flies. Yeah. I'm really annoyed with flies. Okay, let's read. Where was I? Where was I? You will take your university in England. Your great-grandfather founded the original school there. The continued existence of the school depends on your graduations. I tell you this to phrase the importance of legacy. Your place in this family and your responsibility to others. It's a burden. I don't deny it. One that all morality, firstborn males must endure. So you're saying, no pressure, James. Thanks for that. Things are as they are, James heard father, the fearful, speaking. The man he didn't exactly know well. Father, the fatalist, which was light years from his true self. He usually purred independence, clear thinking, and that to question authority was healthy. To challenge it, something else entirely. He carefully taught us not to judge too quickly, to evaluate everything. I see, James said. So that's how it is, and there's no choice. Don't expect me to add. I'm sorry to say, because of course I'm not. You're being prepared for greatness, my boy. Baskerville is merely the first step. The years will fly by. I come to love my time there, and so will you. You didn't want to go either? James asked stunned. Father grinned warmly. Something we typically only saw on the beach or across the dinner table on the rare evening we ate together. Some of the best years of my life occurred at that school. I trust you and your sister will find it the same. You didn't want to go there, James stated rather than inquired. The academy are rigorous, yes. Some of the by laws are difficult, but you will come to appreciate them. You will learn things at Baskerville that will serve you well for the rest of your life. If I had my way. He paused reflective. I trust you can safely say that these 4 years will change your life, as well as the lives of many others. They will prepare you to take roles in preserving the Morty legacy. I don't want to preserve the Morty legacy, and neither did I, son. Neither did I. Yet, look where I am. And here you will follow come storm or high water. Here in this stair you will sit. Never! Just as my father sat before me. It won't happen. It will. You will come to manage the family interests and continue our work. So help me. This is the life that has been chosen for you, for us both, king and prince. I vow to disappoint you mightily. Father smiled as he spoke. His word and that tone of his did not mix. I would expect you won't. I don't hold you to these words, James. Talk is talk. You and I will discuss at Thanksgiving, and we'll see how far, if at all, this opinion of yours had moved. It won't move, has moved. It won't move. It will. Even if I could come to understand this for me, how can you possibly make Maria go along? She is near the next male in the family lineage. So I only have a few more pages left until chapter 4. So when I get to chapter 4, I'm gonna stop there and I'm gonna make my next video tomorrow about lock and keys. Alright? Even if I could come to understand how can I possibly make Maria go along? She is neither the next male in the family lineage, nor is she a girl who needs to leave her father right now. If I didn't send her, my father said, she would run away to be with you at the first opportunity. How do you say this word? Opportunity. Run away to be with you at the first opportunity. Opportunity. I would know I know the bond between you two. And so do you. I'm saving us a lot of heartache and trouble. I think you know that. This family is more than a birthright. It's a tragedy. James could be quick-witted when it suited him. It's a responsibility. One we Morty men have no choice but to fulfill. Like it or not, hate it or resent it right now. Each of us strives to make things better for the generations to follow. It was born into your blood, James. Many of us before you have tried to outrun it. Deny it. Deny it. My father turned to drink, his father to war. It's a legacy of pain and suffering over a blood-given position and altruism we not only should never take for granted, but should strive to exploit for the betterment of all. It is who we are. There is no outrunning it. So you became a teacher, a noble possession. I can afford to teach on my own terms, so I teach part-time. Not every man is so lucky. And me, am I lucky? Is Maria? Our mother left us. You never explained that to our liking. You tell us we will understand when we are older. How much older? Now, our father wants to be rid of us. To be rid of us. I want nothing of the sort. James saw father's color flush red. A father who could not be rattled. I am bound to this decision, as you will be to your heir who follows. It is the most difficult, most repugnant obligation a man can be under to willfully surrender the one thing, the two things that mean the most to him. Wait, you don't want to go? Me to go? Want? You don't want me to go? Want? Father challenged incredulously. Incredulously. Want? He placed a cherry on top. Want? The house echoed. Get away, flies. The house echoed with it. I heard it upstairs. Possibly it flew off the cobblestone outside as well. Perhaps it also rumbled down the lane and shook the both house on the Charles, the cupola of Barlow Hall, the iconic columns of King's Chapel. My brother took this as his cue to make for the study doors. I don't want it. It's required. I have a difficult year ahead, James, father said. More travel than usual. Father said, more travel than usual. James stopped and turned. We were attacked. You're scared for our safety here. You were hazed. It will happen again if we don't confirm your attendance. Then you haven't confirmed? Do you take me for a monster? Father asked. We've been having a discussion, you and I. One way, James said, immediately regretting it. Sorry, Father. That was unlike of me. Accepted. Now listen, James. Attendance at Baskerville is of the utmost importance. I can hardly travel the way. I must, while leaving you and your sister with only Louis and Ralph to look after you. As it is, you two give Louis nothing but problems. You two are not yet old enough to be left alone. You understand. Why all the travel? Don't be impudent, Father broke I. Contrast with James to look out of the window somewhat longingly. It's not for the aim of university. It's the family interest. Some things must be done in person. He turned from the window back to James. That's all you need to know. But you raise a point